Erling Haaland signing a 9.5 year deal. Wow. Wow. What do you make of it?
Wow, indeed. I mean, how old are we now? Everyone's trying to work out their age from when the
Hey,
when the
the
deal
benefit of being the
expired.
same age of him, you just need to look at what age he's going to be, which
I
is still
know.
old. I'm not going
He's
to lie.
still old. You look at it. Do you remember when we used to be children? You used to see people get signed these big long contracts, and you'd be like, "Oh my god, yeah, we're gonna be watching this man's forever." I remember Company being the one.
Mm.
Just kept extending. We were like, "Oh, we watched Company for half of my life now and stuff," and now we're getting old. But it is remarkably unexpected. I don't know about you, but I just didn't expect it to drop today at all.
Mm. It was. I look. There's been talk about a contract extension, but I think most people are thinking 3 year extension, 4 year extension, at a push, maybe even a 5 year extension. 9.5 years, running until 2034, which he will be 34 years old himself. Talk a bit muddied about a release clause. David Ornstein said that there isn't any in the initial deal. Fabrizio Romano saying that there's one in 2029. I assume details surrounding that will come out in due course. But Luke, my first thought, and I'll talk you through it actually, because I was working last night, the late shift, so I didn't finish work until midnight and was off today, had a day off. Stupid Erling has to go and ruin it for me. But I struggled to get to sleep last night. I don't know why, but on my Apple Watch, for some reason, the Do Not Disturb went off at 8 a.m., which was the point David Ornstein posted that news. And honestly, I thought I was having like a spasm in my arm because the Apple Watch was just spamming messages, group chats, tweets, work channels, etc. And my first thought was, wow, what a show of intent from the club. Because we can get into Haaland, we can get into details of that, but that is, from the club itself, that is ballsy.
100%. I mean, you hear the cliche all the time, don't you? It's like a new signing. Wow, is this like a new signing? We've just signed a superstar for he's the prime of his career. He's entering the
Mm.
prime of his career. He's already scored a ridiculous amount of goals. He's going to be on course to break record after record after record now. Like, he could be pushing Alan Shearer's record for all we
You'd
know.
hope so, wouldn't you? I think
Yeah,
if he stayed for the entire 9.5 years, so it's obviously the half is till the end of this season, then it's 9 seasons after that. I think he needs 18 goals a season to do that. And I mean, he's already,
puny numbers compared to Haaland. It's
yeah,
puny
he's on
numbers.
16 for this season. So you'd, barring a major injury, that should go. That should disappear.
I mean, Alan Shearer must be quaking his boots, mustn't he? Everyone thought that record's never going to be untouched again, and now you've got Erling Haaland breathing down his neck, and it's just an amazing statement of intent, as you said. Like the fact that we are looking to bring in three, potentially four new signings in a January transfer window, and then also strengthen our squad by just keeping one of the best strikers the world has ever seen, and it's
Mm.
a case of what's going to happen next. How many league titles is he possibly going to win us in the next 9 years? We don't know, but I'd be very, very shocked if he goes trophyless now for the rest of his Manchester City career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, Pep Guardiola, at the time of recording this, is currently still in his press conference, but he's obviously done the bit about Haaland already, and he said this on Friday afternoon. He comes from Norway. I think maybe the weather here in Manchester is better. Go on, Pep. He settled perfectly, and I think what happened is because he loves the club, the people he's around, he loves the Premier League, he loves to be here with his wife, and now he's a father. So I think that he visualised that there is no better place that he could be right now in the next 10 years, and that's why his family decided to do this step. I mean, I guess part of it is a bit unnecessary from his part, but also the money is probably going to be astronomical, and what player is going to turn that down? So you can figure that one out yourself. But just in terms of him penning that deal with City for 2034, it I think the only logical step for him would have been Real Madrid, and he's clearly saying no, he doesn't fancy it, or at least he doesn't fancy it on a free transfer at the end of his initial contract. He doesn't fancy it, for a reduced price deal in a couple of years' time. If he's going to leave City now in between, well, now and turning 34, it's probably going to cost upwards of £150 million. So it just feels like everybody is super content and super happy with making this deal happen.
I think it might be a mindset thing for him. Like if he goes to Real Madrid, he's just another cog in the Real Madrid machine, isn't it? You've got
Mm.
your Bellinghams, for example, your Vinny Juniors, you've got Mbappe, who's just signed for him. Maybe he's thinking, do you know what? I can be the star at Man City. I can be the man that
And the
people will
Premier
talk
League,
about.
not
Yeah,
just
and the
City,
Premier
and
League.
the Premier League. He's going to be the face of the Premier League.
Of course, and that's going to be, and people will talk about him for years and years and years to come. Maybe that's the reasoning why he's thinking, do you know what? I'm going to stay here. He knows the club very well, obviously, with his family connections. He knows the country very well. He obviously likes it here. Why would he go anywhere else? Like, I love it. As a City fan, it just, for someone you've seen a picture of him as a child in the old Man City kits, being there, being one of us, and now he is the fact of just signing his career to stay at Man City. Like, it's almost like a dream, really.
Yeah, it is. It's going to take a while to settle in. We're doing this recording about 1 p.m. on Friday afternoon, and it is a bit like, just soaking in the details. But let me hypothesize. Let me land, as the kids say. How much do you think the Ballon d'Or fiasco involving Vinny Jr. and Real Madrid not turning up and them spitting their dummies out had to play in this? And I may well be putting two and two together to get 16, because he was already in contract talks before that. We know he was likely to sign an extension, but like I said, Real Madrid, logically, is probably the only place that Haaland would have gone after City. Barcelona, maybe. They just don't have the finances at this moment in time. So that's a non-starter. He's not going to go anywhere else in the Premier League, so Real Madrid was the next logical step. He looks across the aisle, or he sees on social media, and Real Madrid are having an absolute hissy fit because their player didn't win the Ballon d'Or. And Rodri, his teammate, who he's won the treble with a couple of years ago, and Haaland didn't win 4 Premier League titles in a row, but he was part of the team that did. I don't know. Maybe I'm chatting absolute bollocks, and that wouldn't be the first time this week, let alone ever. But I don't know. Maybe it played a part.
I think you can read into it. Of course you can. But look at how Haaland kind of accepted his second place gracefully. Like, he turned up, did everything correct. I got beat by a better man, as some would say, and that happens sometimes. That's football. That's competitions. But the fact of the matter is, like, Rodri was the best player in the world. He was. In my opinion, that is a fact. He's just, you can see what's happened after he's got injured and how the team have almost capitulated at times. And now, and you just got the Real Madrid hissy fit, the PR sort of meltdown from there. And you're like, and why would you want to go there? Like, sometimes you'd be looking at them like, I get the money. Like, I understand the money, and you're going to win trophies, Real Madrid. I understand that. But he's at a club that he knows. He's at a club that he loves. He's won stuff with us already. He can be the forefront of our side for the next 9 years. And I don't blame him for it as well. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see his contract. I bet he's got some ridiculous bonuses in there. I'd love him to have like a bonus of like 70 league goals. Do you know, like something ridiculous? Yeah. I want to see him back himself that much, but we'll get drips, won't we, as the weeks go on from certain sources to see sort of what, if there is a release clause in there, what sort of bonuses he has. But let's just savour and enjoy the moment. Erling Haaland's not going anywhere.
It's funny you say that, because Guardiola was asked sort of, will he be complacent after signing this contract extension? And he actually said, I don't have the feeling that he's a guy with a contract who says, now I'm going to go and take a nap. Well, actually, we kind of do know that he does like to take a nap, but I guess Pep's speaking sort of theoretically that he's not going to go and put his feet up. He loves to play. He's a huge competitor, but at the same time, he has the ability to get away from the... So he has the ability to get away from good moments and bad moments immediately. His mindset is really good to forget what happened and think about the next. It's talking big picture, we've been speaking most of this season about the next rebuild and what it's going to look like. Yes, there are still plenty of players who are, in their twilight years, but you're looking at Kusanov, who's coming in, 20 years old. You're looking at Vita Rice, who's coming in, 18 years old. You're looking at Omar Mamouche, 25 years old. You're looking at Jeremy Doku, Oscar Bob, Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, all players 25 or under. Quietly, this rebuild is taking shape, isn't it? And I guess for all the people online who are moaning, cheeky out, cheeky out, cheeky out, this is quite the farewell present, isn't it? From Cheeky Burgestan before he sails off into the sunset.
I mean, let's compare to where we were a month ago today to where we are now. It's crazy how quickly the football landscape can shift. And it looks like it is shifting in our direction. We've got young, hungry players coming in. Players don't have a lot of experience, don't get me wrong, but they can grow, they can develop, they can enjoy their time in this team. And then you've got people who are still young and hungry, who have won it all, leading the line. It's like a perfect plan. It's a plan that's come together. And I mean, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see him just banging goal after goal, scoring 9 in a game or whatever he's going to do, which he could do very, very soon.
Yeah, Erling Haaland currently, if I can find the statistic, in the Premier League, he's on 79 goals, and Alan Shearer's record is 260. So 190 or so goals to go. I mean, see you next week. He's probably halfway there.
He's 100% halfway there. I mean, what's he going to do for the end of the season now? Like, because so for people who don't know, I've got a bet on, a personal bet with my friend, and I put it at the start of the season where I thought Erling Haaland was going to score 35 Premier League goals. He started off fantastically. I was right on course, dipped a little bit, but this news could be winning me 20 quid. So. Erling Haaland,
don't spend it all at once, mate.
It was a bit of fun that I said in the pub, and now who knows?
Yeah.
He could be coming home.
Yeah, it could be. Elephant in the room, that is, by all accounts, quickly leaving the room. 115 charges. Now, you and I are probably not the best people to ask for this. We need to bring in the legal department. But can you read much into it? Personally, for me, just as a sort of natural pessimist, I'm like, just wait. You know, I don't know if you can read into it. I don't know if you can't read into it. Blah blah blah. City could get a massive points deduction. They could get a transfer ban. Whatever. Erling Haaland signing the contract. I don't know how much it makes a difference. But you think surely, if you can apply any logic to this, 2034 is a long time away. A very long time away. If there was going to be an imminent big relegation, a big punishment, surely you wouldn't advise the world's best striker to sign a deal. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, does Erling Haaland really know? I'd love to get my tinfoil hat on and just think that it's all come true, and we've managed to beat the charges, but you can't say that, can you? Like, none of us have got a clue. Detmer probably has the best clue out of anyone, and he doesn't. He's very open and says he doesn't really know either. So I don't think you can read too much into it. But if you want to hypothesize and sort of make sure you tag me in the tweets, because I want to see some of these, because it's filling me with joy. Because who knows, like maybe they do know. Maybe this is a big grand picture. Maybe Erling Haaland's like, right, or maybe he really wants to play at Burnley away again. Who knows?
Burnley, more like Burton, probably, if it goes to plan, or at least how some people are planning. Yeah, absolutely banging. I mean, I guess the reality for City fans though is it's back down to reality. This contract extension doesn't fix the problems that are on the pitch at the moment. These new players coming in don't necessarily elevate City upwards, but this last couple of weeks, I think, you know, I can speak for everyone and say it's been a nice comfort blanket to say, no, you know, the club are still moving forward. They are still prioritising growth. They are still operating in the ways that we know they have done and have become so successful doing so.
I mean, City love to start a unbeaten run in January. They love it. They've done it year after year after year. Could this news be the start of a long unbeaten journey? I don't know. But
what are we on now? 4? Is it 4?
I'm just leaving it out. I'm just leaving it out there. I'm not saying any stats. I'm just leaving it out there for people to think, and just come back to this in May when we're either 10th in the league or we're league champions after going on a ridiculous unbeaten run. Just save this clip, people.
Could you imagine? How fuming people would be if City do end up winning the league from this point on? Surely not. That is talking nonsense. That was the first part of the show. If you want more, make sure to check the City Ramble wherever you get your podcasts from.